done, then Portage can actually read this image and see exactly what it's going to install in the live file system, so it can also uninstall it. And it records MD5 checksums for everything.
Also, at this stage, you can automatically have binary packages created.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the merge state, where it basically takes the image and merges it into the live file system. Now, there are also some optional stages. The no fetch stage is executed whenever Portage cannot fetch something, not because you don't have internet and then you get an error, but if you in the ebuild specify that for some reason Portage cannot fetch this itself. Usually it's used to just produce a message to the user on how to proceed, how to, for instance, go to Sun's website and download Java yourself and put it in the right directory and then try again. The test stage is fairly new, but basically if you want to test everything before you merge it into your live file system, then packages that has a test stage will execute this stage. And you can also have a config stage, which is doing something after the merge. Usually something about initializing databases or whatever, which has to happen on the live system. And therefore it also requires the user to manually do this. Manually tell Portage to now execute this ebuild's config stage. Okay. Let's go back to the ebuilds. The ebuilds are basically bash-like scripts. And I say bash-like, even though it actually is a bash script, it is executed within a controlled environment, so that's why I call it bash-like. So, if you can read bash script, you can read the ebuilds, even the existing ones. The meta information, description, what use flags it knows, where to find the source code, dependencies, whatever, are just variables, bash variables. And the individual stages are implemented as functions. So, if you want to write your own ebuild, you just make this nice bash-like script, make some variables, make some functions, stick it into Portage, and that's about it, basically. Source unpack, source compile, source install, source test, source config, we already covered that. These special package, pre-install, post-install, pre-remove, post-remove are kind of special. Some packages might need to do something on the live file system during the merge, which is of course usually not allowed to because it's in the sandbox. This is where you can do magic stuff if you need it. One example could, for instance, be if you want to have a package for your special binary compiled kernel, and you want to automatically put it into your grub configuration whenever you install it, and remove it from the configuration again when you uninstall it. This is where you can do it. Not so many packages actually implement this because they try to stay within the sandbox, but you can do stuff here. Whenever these bash functions are executed by Portage, Portage also has a lot of other variables with information that you can use in your rebuild. Most usefully, it will tell you, or actually it will tell the function where the image directory it should write the image to is, and where the sandbox is, and the package name, the package version, like that. We'll see how that is used. Portage also provides a lot of useful tools that makes creating ebuilds easier, but these are all optional. And this is not exactly last time I checked the documentation, it wasn't exactly clear. But it has a big toolbox, and if you like it, hey, use it. If you don't, you write bash scripts as you would normally. It has some nice things. The most useful I've come about is, for instance, it has a changed version of seed, which instead of having to write to a temporary file then copy back, it can seed in place. Useful. It also have a special tool for creating directories, and you can use them, or you can use make here, whatever you want. And you can also, within the ebuild, execute anything else you have on your system, of course, as long as it does not change anything outside the sandbox. But it means that you can use other tools, you can use whatever, tar, RPM to tar, gset, whatever you want, as long as it's installed on your system. Now, for creating your own ebuild, first thing you want to do is you want to create an overlay. And why don't you just want to change user portage? Well, one thing, every time you synchronize with rsync, you override it. That's a bitch. You have to recreate your ebuilds every time you synchronize your official package tree. Another thing is, usually the official package tree is look but don't touch. So you create an overlay which is a partial tree which is overlaid on top of the official tree, and you can have several overlays. And depending on how you order your overlays, Portage will see the sum of that. It means that if you put in a new version or a whole new piece of software, you will see it in the complete package tree. You will see it along with the official packages. It also means that if you put in an ebuild with the exact same version of software, you override it. Useful if you want to, for instance, apply your own patch. Decide on where to put your new ebuilds. If you are just making a new ebuild for something that is already in the official Portage tree, then go with that. But if you install something completely new, spend more than 5 seconds thinking about where to put it, just to keep it organized. Create whatever directories you need for the category and the ebuild itself, and populate it with some skeleton files. In user Portage, there are some files called skell.something, and you copy them over and rename it to whatever is after skell, and that's your starting point. You have a changelog file and your metadata file. Mostly useful if you're later on gonna submit your ebuild to the official tree, but in general it's a good idea to, for instance, keep a changelog for whatever you do, even if it's just your own packages. And then copy the source directly to user Portage dist file. This is for avoiding, whenever you're testing your ebuild, you probably have to run it at least a few times just to test that you actually rebuild doing what it wants. So you don't want it to go out on the internet and fetch the source every time. So just put it in there and Portage will discover it. Also, you need to manually put it there for the first time you run the ebuild, simply because before you can execute the ebuild, you have to make a digest. Record MD5 checksums of the ebuild and the source files, which means that it needs the source files to be on your machine in the first place.
Well, digest will pull it though from the internet.
Okay.
Based on the source, so you
Okay.
don't necessarily have to put it there the first time. It's just faster.
Okay.
If you have it, why not put it there?
Yeah. Okay. That's changed then. Okay. Then the more interesting thing, edit the ebuild. We'll see how that looks, and then make sure that Portage has a copy of the license for this software. Every ebuild records which license the software is covered by, and if Portage does not already have this license,